Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is Josh, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Navy Federal More Rewards credit card by American Express. So in today's video, we are going to be going over the pros and cons of this credit card as well as the main features. But before we go ahead and dive into the main features of this card, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $10,000 in free stocks in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Moomoo. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then deposit at least $100. At that point, Moomoo will be sending you at least 5 free stocks worth all the way up to $10,000. Okay, so diving right into the main features of the Navy Federal More Rewards credit card. First off, we're going to be talking about points and how you can earn it with this card. So you will be earning 3 points per dollar spent at restaurants and on food delivery. Then you'll also be earning 3 points per dollar spent on groceries and 3 points per dollar spent on gas in transit. And then on all other transactions, you will be earning 1 point per dollar spent. Now with this card, there's also going to be a spend bonus as well. So as long as you're able to spend at least $3,000 within the first 90 days of having this card, you will be receiving a spend bonus of 30,000 points, which will be an equivalent of $300. Then on top of that, you're also going to be receiving a $98 statement credit when you pay for a Walmart Plus membership of at least $49 or more. Now with your Walmart Plus membership, you're going to be receiving some different perks. So just starting out with that, you're going to be receiving free delivery from your store. You're also going to be receiving discounts on gas at over 14,000 participating locations nationwide. And then you're also going to be receiving early access to promotions and events. Now with this card, you're also going to be receiving some other features and benefits as well. So just starting out, you're not going to have a rewards limit. So there's not going to be any cap on your rewards. You can spend as much money and earn cash back or points on each and every transaction. There's not going to be any cap to that. Then of course, you're also going to be receiving entertainment access, roadside assistance, and then as far as how your points can be redeemed for, you will have a few different options. So you can choose between cash, travel, gift cards, and merchandise. And then also with this card, you can receive up to 25% off your car rental, plus car rental lost and damage insurance as well. Also on top of that, if you take out a balance transfer or happen to travel abroad, there are not going to be any fees if you do a balance transfer. And then also there aren't going to be any foreign transaction fees either. So obviously that's going to be a pretty big plus as well. And then also you have the ability to freeze and unfreeze your credit card. So if you happen to lose your card somewhere and you're not sure where it is, you can go on the app or you can go online and freeze your credit card. That way, if it was stolen and someone tries to use it, it won't work because it will be frozen. But then later on, if you happen to find it, maybe it's buried under your sofa somewhere, then at that point you can go on and unfreeze it and start using it again. Then on top of that, you're also going to have a zero liability policy for unauthorized transactions. So in the case that someone does steal your credit card and they pick up and spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars on it, you will not be held liable to pay for those transactions because you did not authorize them. Then you also have the ability to receive fraud notifications. So if they suspect that a transaction was made that wasn't you because maybe it was higher than what you normally spend, or maybe it was at a different merchant, then they can send you a notification to your cell phone or email and let you know like, hey, this transaction was made at the store for this amount. Was this you? And then you can answer whether it was you or whether or not it was perhaps fraud. Then you also have the ability to have access to your credit score as well. So if you're trying to improve your credit score or even maintain it at a high level, you will have free access to your credit score where you can keep up to date on that. So now that we went over the main features of this card at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into the APR and fees, because of course this is also super important as well. So starting out, your purchase APR is going to be anywhere between 14.9 to 18% based on your credit worthiness. Then as far as balance transfers goes, starting out for the first 12 months, your balance transfer APR is going to be 1.99%. Then after that, it's going to be the exact same thing as your purchase APR at 14.9 to 18%. Then as far as cash advances go, on this channel we normally recommend to stay far away from cash advances. This of course should not be considered financial advice, just my own personal reasons. Usually you have a pretty high interest rate on them, plus a lot of fees as well. Although with this card, it's not nearly as bad as with other credit cards out there on the market. But if you do decide to take out a cash advance, just know that with them, your cash advance APR is going to be 2% above your purchase APR. So if your purchase APR is 18%, in that case, your APR, your interest rate on cash advances is going to be 20%. So those are the interest rates that you are going to be paying on this card for purchases, balance transfers, and cash advances. At this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into the fees. So starting out with those cash advances, the fee on cash advances are actually not going to be anything if done at a Navy Federal branch or a Navy Federal ATM. Otherwise, it's going to be 50 cents per domestic transaction or $1 per foreign transaction. This is actually very low because with other credit cards out there on the market, you're going to be paying like 5% or $10 at minimum for each transaction. So the fact that you can actually have a cash advance at absolutely no charge other than the interest rate is a pretty decent perk with this credit card. Although myself personally, I would still not take out a cash advance just because of the interest rate on them. Then on top of that, as far as foreign transaction fees go, like I mentioned earlier, this is a card you can definitely take with you if you happen to go outside the country, because with this card there are no foreign transaction fees. This is another plus as well, because with many other credit cards out there, you do have to pay a foreign transaction fee on each international transaction of right around 3%. So that's obviously a pretty big plus with this card since there are no foreign transaction fees. Now, if you happen to pay late or have a return payment, there is going to be a fee on those of up to $20. So perhaps you might want to consider setting up auto pay, marking your calendars, do whatever you have to do. Make sure that you are paying on time. That way you do not have to pay a late payment fee of up to $20. And then finally, as far as the annual fee goes, with this card, there are no annual fees. You can keep it on a year-to-year basis, and you don't have to pay a single dime for it. So now that we went over the main features of this card, as well as the APR and fees, at this point in time, we are going to go ahead and dive into what I would consider to be the best things about this credit card and the worst things about this credit card. So we're going to start out with the best things. So the first best thing, of course, is all the points you can earn with this credit card. So just to recap, you will be earning 3 points per dollar spent on restaurants, food delivery, groceries, gas, and transit. So you can definitely rack up quite a few points with this card. You can also earn a spend bonus of 30,000 points or $300 as long as you're able to spend at least $3,000 within the first 90 days of having this credit card. It's going to be right around $1,000 per month, which for some people might be an easy feat to do, and for others that might be a little bit of a stretch. And then with this card, finally, there's not going to be many fees with it, so there's not going to be any cash advance fees as long as they are done at a Navy Federal branch. There aren't going to be any foreign transaction fees, and there are also not going to be any annual fees either, so obviously that's a pretty good benefit as well. So those are the good things about this credit card as far as the drawbacks go. First off, you must be a member of Navy Federal in order to apply and be accepted for this credit card. Secondly, your introductory APR on purchases is not 0% with some of the other credit cards out there right now. You can have a 0% introductory APR on both purchases and balance transfers for anywhere between the first 12 to 18 months. With this credit card, you aren't receiving that benefit. And then finally, on all other categories, not in your 3 points per dollar spent category, you will unfortunately only be receiving 1 point per dollar spent, which is a little bit on the low end. But just to sum things up here, all in all, I would say this is a pretty decent credit card to have and one I probably would recommend. But at the end of the day, of course, it is going to be entirely up to you. But that's all we have for today's review. I certainly hope that you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.